Today, on Be Something Wonderful, the one method to radically shift to your reality of wish fulfilled. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, good morning and welcome back to the studios of Be Something Wonderful. Here we are continuing broadcasting from Cozumel, Mexico. I have another big video for you today. It came from a few conversations that I had with you yesterday, with a few of you yesterday, saying that I still get confused or I get overwhelmed by 3D circumstances. I lose my focus. I start getting all over the place. And I then start scrambling for methods or assumptions or affirmations to try to get back to what I believe is my wish fulfilled. And they go, what would be one way to really just stand in that end, to really know that I'm in that new reality? Well, we're going to talk about this today and more. There was also a question on desires of God versus ego desires. I want to hit that question. I've talked about that many times, right? And remember, it's not the desire that determines whether it's an egoic desire or a desire of God. All desire is that divine urge. The root of all desire, where it comes from, is that divine urge of all that is to know itself as all that is, of God to know itself experientially as that supreme being, for you to know yourself as a creator, as that one reality. So we're going to talk about this. Remember, we translate that desire, that urge, into these physically focused desires, right? People, places, and things, and experiences. But all of it comes from that divine urge to know yourself as that completely absolute fulfilled being that you already are, right? But when we translate it, then we forget, and then we believe it's the pursuit of these people, places, and things. And we feel that we don't feel that we're fulfillment, experiencing ourselves as fulfillment. We feel unfulfilled trying to get to fulfillment. That's what creates this idea of what some of you call the egoic desire. But the desire itself, whether it's a Ferrari or world peace, doesn't matter. That's not what determines it. It's your alignment with that idea, that knowing that your reality, experiencing yourself as reality. You're all that is, experiencing yourself as all that is. You're that one God, that one reality, that one self-aware intelligence, that one consciousness, that one awareness, experiencing itself physically in a physically focused reality or experience of ultimate reality. So the 111 method, or the one manifesting method, and I'm using 111 because I'm quoting from Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes, who says there's one infinite spirit. There's one God, there's one energy, there's one divine mind, one unity, one reality. I love that from Ernest Holmes, right? And so start with one insanely big intention and desire. That's the first one. One insanely big intention and desire, right? It doesn't matter whether it's a specific or general. I know a lot of teachers talk about that. And I understand where they're coming from. If you get specific, we start to place importance on it, right? We start to feel the non-fulfillment of desiring something that we believe we don't have. And if we make it general, it releases some of that importance or releases some of that resistance. But remember, none of that matters. Be specific about fulfillment. Be specific about the conviction that you're already that person you desire to be. Right? Be specific about the experience of that fulfillment, the experience of living in that end. Then it doesn't matter whether it's specific or general, right? It doesn't matter if it's one desire or many desires. One insanely big intention of desire could be that desire that I want a life of perfect health, unlimited wealth, absolute freedom, and great love. It's one massive desire for love, for freedom, for perfect health, perfect, abundant wealth, right? And within that one insanely big desire, you're implying many. So do you see, it doesn't matter. We don't get tangled up into specific or general or one or many. You can have it all. That's the idea of create this one insanely big intention and desire. It creates that anomalous burst of energy that I've talked about in other videos that Vadim Zeland points to in reality transurfing. And you're making a decision to have it all. You're allowing yourself, you're giving yourself permission to create your desired life and move to it. Because you're the only one that decides. No one can keep that from you. You align your heart and mind with everything you want. When you make that one insanely big intention, right? Now you can have fun with it. There's no conditions whatsoever. And when you do that, it allows doubt and fear in the practical lower mind to focus on its only job of perceiving the unfolding of everything you desire. That's the only job of the physical mind. But we use it to judge things and then try to create things and try to say that we're not getting things and all of that, right? It's just the perception of that physical experience. That's all the lower mind. Everything else is that higher mind or that power within you creating it all, right? It's just the outward focus of that divine mind that you are. That's all that is, right? It's insanely big and impractical and unbelievable. So stop trying to believe it. Make that one insanely big intention and desire, that unbelievable desire. And it does seem impractical, and it does seem unbelievable, so stop trying to believe it. Right? The physical mind will never believe it. You'll never get it there because it was never created for that. It was created simply to perceive that unbelievable reality that you're creating within. That's powerful. So that's the first one insanely big intention and desire. The second idea is one simple imaginal act and assumption of your new life in reality. Remember, all the power and potency is in its implication. What does that one simple imaginal act, or that one simple visualization, or that one simple assumption, if you prefer not to visualize or have an image. It's an image anyway, whether you could see it or not within. And then create one massive mantra. It's perfect. I'm living the good life. It's always working for me. The world loves me. Have as many as you want. Again, you're not limited. I'm just saying one massive mantra. That one massive mantra can include the world loves me, reality loves me, everything's working out, it's perfect, I'm perfect, I know everything's unfolding. It doesn't matter. It's one source, one energy, one God, one mind, one thought, one reality, one law, one spirit, one life. One. I am God and there is no one else, from the Science of Mind, Ernest Holmes. So one massive intention and desire. And then one simple imaginal act and assumption of that new life and reality. Create that image, that scene, that 2-second imaginal scene. Create that within, or just an assumption that I'm living in my perfect home. I'm living with my perfect love. I've got unbelievable energy and health and perfect health. I'm free to travel and do whatever I want. Everything's always flowing to me. And then one massive mantra or affirmation. It's perfect. I'm living the good life. The world takes care of me. The universe loves me. God loves me. It's always working out for me. The world loves me. Have as many as you want. It's you. The one. Now I want to get back to this idea of desires. Because one of you, this is important because this goes with the 111 manifesting method, right, that we're talking about today. That one big intention, that one big desire, and then that one simple imaginal act or assumption that your desire is fulfilled, that you're living, that you're in that end. And then that one mantra that can include many mantras, but that everything's working out for you, that it's always unfolding, that no matter what the circumstances are showing you, it's perfect. That 111. So the question is desires. I think one of you were talking about, made a comment on the Facebook group that, okay, I desire a Ferrari, now what? I'm still unfulfilled. No matter what I get or what I have or what I manifest, I'm always going to be unfulfilled. Well, from the 3D lower mind, that's the ego saying that, because this person went on to say those are egoic desires versus higher desires of God. So I'm always going to be unfulfilled. But think about that. Who's saying that? That's the ego. That's the physically focused you saying that, judging a Ferrari versus something else. Well, it doesn't matter whether it's a Ferrari or world peace. They're both the divine urge. They're both coming from the root of all of those desires is God desiring to know itself as God. It's the will of life, the will to live, or life to know itself as life. Do you see it? That is the urge. It's that divine urge of source to know itself as that one source, that one reality. It doesn't matter. What the desires are does not determine whether something is a lower mind desire or a higher desire. All desires of God. What determines is, where's your focus? Are you judging it and feeling unfulfilled? Right? Is it a desire to get to some fulfillment that you believe is in the future? Or are you a completely fulfilled and absolute being, desiring something to know yourself as that absolute fulfillment? That's the difference. Desires are desires. There's no such thing as ego versus God's desires. That's all made up. Every coach, every spiritual teacher, I don't care, every book that's written on it, it's all made up. Desire is all comes from the will to live, the will of life to know itself as life. The will of that one awareness to be aware of itself as awareness. That one consciousness to be conscious of itself. Consciousness is not conscious unless it's conscious of something. Awareness is not awareness unless it's aware of something. That's what desire is. That's where it all comes from. And then we translate that desire through our physical focus into people, places, and things. But there's nothing wrong with that. That's the ego lower mind judging that there's something wrong with that. So where's the glitch, right? Where's the rub? The rub is we believe that we need these desires to be fulfilled. That's what determines the whole idea of ego desires. The ego will never be fulfilled. The lower mind or the lower ego will never be fulfilled. It will always see itself as separate, incomplete, threatened in the physically focused reality, because it looks like that. But you're always fulfilled. It's you. So what is desire really, truly? It's the desire to know yourself as that already fulfilled being, right? That was all made up by the limited lower mind. All of that idea. All desires of God. All expression of that one perfect divine real you or divine mind. To know itself as that one perfect life, as that one changeless reality. Desire, all of it, is the will to live, is the will to be aware as awareness, to be conscious as consciousness. This divine urge is then translated into infinite physical experiences of people, places, and things. And then we create this idea, the physical mind creates this idea that it's unfulfilled, that it needs these to be fulfilled. But that's not the idea of desire. That's the translated idea of desires. Desire is just the desire to know yourself as that already supreme being. All that is to know itself from infinite perspectives, viewpoints, or vantage points. But when you're staring at any one viewpoint, any one vantage point, any one experience, it seems like you're unfulfilled. It seems like you need something else now and something else to be fulfilled. But that continuing desire, that continuing divine urge, is life to know itself as life. It's the will to live as life. It's consciousness to be, consciousness wouldn't be consciousness unless it was conscious of something. But we translate that into a desire to be fulfilled or a constant feeling of non-fulfillment. But it's not. It's a constant or continual or eternal expression of fulfillment, of that total fulfillment, of awareness, that absolute complete awareness, to be aware of itself as awareness. You continue to feel unfulfilled is the lower mind, the lower physical mind, judging desires and desiring, like Ferraris versus world peace. To God, it's all the same. It's all knowing itself as that one supreme being. Awareness being aware of something. Consciousness being conscious of something. And that's a continual, eternal, forevermore process. There's no end to fulfillment. So it's not coming from, so you're not coming from as an unfulfilled being trying to reach fulfillment. You're that absolute fulfilled being expressing itself as that fulfillment, seeing itself from infinite vantage points. Right? Small, I think one of you mentioned in that comment, those are small egoic desires. That's the ego judging that. There are no small egoic desires. All desires are powerful. Right? That's the ego of the physically focused mind making that argument or making that judgment. Right? Fulfillment is knowing yourself as fulfillment. Doesn't matter whether it's a Ferrari or world peace. One. One God, one source, one energy, one law, one spirit, one life. One. I am God, there's no one else. This is the science of mind. This is Ernest Holmes. So create that one big, outrageous intention or desire. It doesn't matter, remember, it doesn't matter how big it is. Make it big. Create that anomalous burst of energy. Move to the decision that you can have it all. And then create that one simple assumption or that one simple imaginal act that implies that you're already that person you desire to be, that you're already living that reality. It could be your friends congratulating you. It could be you on a cruise. It could be you traveling the world, running through airports. The implication is that you are that person that you desire to be now. Any scene is powerful if it implies that you're living in that end. You don't have to have every detail. The details are in that one powerful scene, right? That one powerful imaginal act. So one big, massive, outrageous intention. One simple imaginal act or assumption. And then one powerful mantra. One mantra that says it's perfect. It's all unfolding. The world always loves me. The universe has my back. I'm one with God. I am that I am. Whatever the affirmation or mantra is. One. That's how you simply create everything you want. That's the power. That's the one method. And that radically shifts you to the reality of your wish fulfilled instantly in that moment. As I said yesterday when I pointed to the healing of the centurion's servant. In that moment, it says in that very moment, in that same hour, it says in Scripture, in that very moment, the servant was healed. In that very moment, you're in that reality. So go back to 111. Think 111. One reality, one source, one God, one power, one divine mind. And that will always unify you and get you back to understanding that you are the one and only reality. That whatever you declare is done. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, the ambassadors at facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful, for joining us on Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, TikTok at Be Something Wonderful, and for being part of the membership channel. This Sunday, we have our 7th live event on the Be Something Wonderful membership channel. We're going to be coming to you from Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific Time, USA, live in our live stream, in our live event. And I'm going to be answering your questions that you've been sending to us at info@besomethingwonderful.com. So keep sending your questions and topics. I'll also answer questions on the live chat. So if you're a member, join us. If you're not a member, check out the link below. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom Kearin here in the studios, the beautiful studios of Be Something Wonderful. Until next time, we'll see you soon.